kwa ukombozi wetu. Tujitoe wenyewe, tusimame pamoja kulinda uhuru na umoja wetu. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote, tuimbe pamoja, kuenzi shikamano hatima yetu. Tujitoe wenyewe kupambana pamoja, uhuru na umoja vitawale. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote na tujibidishe kutoa kilicho bora kwa Afrika, chimbuko la wanadamu, chemchemi ya utamaduni, tumaini letu wakati wa mafarakano. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima.
Welcome to Human TV Africa. Today we talk about Libya. A country in North Africa, bordering the Mediterranean Sea, between Egypt, Algeria, Sudan, and of course Morocco, not far away. It's a beautiful country, a country with one of the highest GDP in Africa, one of the richest countries in the world, yet it has been under war. But Libya still performs well than so many countries in Africa, including all countries in East Africa and much of Sub-Saharan Africa. Libya still beats them down, despite having trouble, not having a good leadership, despite having Gaddafi deposed in 2011. Libya's economy remains stronger than many economies in Africa, in fact, than some economies in some countries in Europe. Libya does well. Libya does quite well. It's a rich country, one of the best countries leading in oil production. That country alone was once a monarchy, but also was once a colony of the Italians. But after the Second World War, Italy was given a punishment, colony taken away from Italy, and then colony given to Britain and French. They were dividing leadership right then. The French and the British took over control of this colony until further notice, when, of course, Idris took over power, King Idris. And later on, Gaddafi did a coup, call it a coup, and took over leadership, and has been at the helm of this country for 40 years until 2011. Today, we talk about Libya. This is Human TV Africa, and my name is Katom Kassa. In the studio is Dennis Bongole to do the production. And we are watching Human TV Africa. I want to encourage you to please subscribe, like, love it, comment, and share. Today, let's talk about Libya. Here is the map of Libya. Now, Libya, as I said, is a lovely country. Of course, it's an Arabic country full of the Berbers. If you look at Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Chad, partly, you are talking about Berbers. The Berbers are Arabs. Some of them call them the Amazigh, but we call them the Berbers. Berbers have been in Libya for a long, long time. They are Arabs, African Arabs. They have been there. Even during the times of Kemet, the Berbers were in this part of the country. Libya is a nice country, of course, with an amazing history. Remember, It borders Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria, Chad, Niger, and of course Sudan. Libya was described as a country with light-skinned people. People in the ancient Kemet talked about Libya as a country with light-skinned people. Let us see. This is Libya right here. We see who borders Libya. You can see Egypt, not very far away. You can see Algeria. You can see Sudan, and of course you see Tripoli, the capital state of Libya, right near the Gulf of Sintra, right there. And the Mediterranean Sea gives Libya the best access to the world, the rest of the world. Of course, there's Tunisia, and of course, the inside there, I can show you a bit of areas of interest like Tazibu, Al-Katrani, Zawiya, Adri, and others. Libya is one of the leading producers of oil in the world. Producers of petroleum in the world is that country, Libya. I told you, Libya is richer than some countries in Europe. They may not tell you this, but Libya was richer than them, had a better economy, a happy people, and everything seemed to be a bit right before the death of Gaddafi, the brother leader. Here, we saw, of course, where the minerals of Libya are. In terms of minerals, I told you that Libya is largely known for petroleum. I'm going to be showing you a bit of cities of Libya. Sirte, that's a city called Sirte, is the birthplace of Gaddafi. Remember, at one time when was being cornered by the NATO forces, he went to Sirte and said, I'm going to die from here. And he declared Sirte the capital state of Libya during his bad times, 2011. But of course, we know that the capital state of Libya is Tripoli. And there's Misrata, another big city as well. There is Benghazi, where Gaddafi had to fight one of his last battles. Benghazi, his home area, are sitting there, Al-Jabaiyah and Al-Baid, there's Tabruk, and of course there is Karashidin, and other amazing cities right here. Libya is a good country, I should say. One of the most beautiful countries in the world is this beautiful African country called Libya. Now, these are the major grounds, major areas, major cities, major regions of Libya. We have Benghazi, where we can trace Gaddafi, born right about there in Benghazi. We have Tripoli, which has the capital city. We have Al-Khalij, another big area, quite big, and we have Fezzani. We have Fezzani right there. Now, that is Libya in a brief. In terms of population, Libya's population is actually low. You can't believe it. Is not even 7 million from the statistics I get right here. It is about 6.8 million people, 6,800,000 people right there. Population growth is only low at 1.138% annually. That is quite low. No wonder Egyptians and no wonder people of Libya are quite few. Dependency, age dependence is only 49%, which is very good. That's why I told you Libya is better than some countries in Europe. You can go and research that and see how these countries have been struggling and then compare them with Libya. Rich country, few people, and well provided for people. Urban population, many of them are in urban areas, 81% urban population. It means that the rest of the people are in villages. Of course, infant mortality in Libya is quite low, manageable at about 9 per 1,000 live birth, not so threatening. Anyway, now we look at other statistics about Libya. We look at other figures. Now, in terms of age distribution, we see that the majority of Libyans are between 15 to 64. Just Africa, that is Africa, between 15 years to 64. That's where majority of Africans are in terms of age population. Of course, Libya has 66% right there. And of course, the young ones between 0 to 14 years are about 28%. And of course, the old ones, above 65, only 4.8%. It means actually Libya has a slightly good number of people who are old, yes, compared to other countries. Now, let us continue. We see in terms of production, Libya has electricity. Libya have their own energy production. They have their own electricity. You can see the billions there. The kilowatt electricity they are producing. Consumption there is a bit low, which means if they wanted to export, they would be exporting, but they are not exporting. And interestingly, they're importing a bit of power right there. So we look at other statistics. We look at oil. I told you, Libya is one of the leading oil producers in the world. They have what we call petroleum. You can see how many barrels there in thousands that they produce, and you can also compare with what they consume. You can imagine that they produce about 1,251 thousands of these, but also they consume only 222, which means they are exporting 834 of their oil. Of course, they don't import oil. They are the leading exporter of oil. How can they import oil? They don't import oil in Libya. They have oil. They are rich. And of course, they have reserves quite big there. Now, in terms of production, natural gas, Libya has natural gas. Libya has natural gas. There, you can imagine the billions there in terms of natural gas. They have 591, and their consumption is low at 243. Therefore, they export much of their gas. Libya, I told you, is a very rich country. Now, they don't import gas, of course. They have much. They even have reserves. They have about 53 trillion in reserves of gas. Libya is a rich country. I should remind you about Libya. And then don't worry, don't wonder why NATO wanted to take Gaddafi down. There were excuses, I'll repeat them right on this channel. NATO, France, and allies wanted Gaddafi out because of nothing much but the wealth of Libya. I'll repeat it in this show. It was not about caring about the people of Libya. It was not about human rights. It was not about anything much but the resources of Libya. These countries wanted them, and they wanted an excuse to beat Gaddafi. Remember, Gaddafi wanted a united Africa, one currency, and all that. So I wanted to show you this. And without mincing my words, I'll tell you, NATO countries wanted Gaddafi out, not because he was a very deadly man as they claimed, but because they wanted a share from the wealth of Libya. Those are my words. Now, airports, in terms of airports, Libya has about 146 airports by 2011 there. And of course, cellular phones, quite many at 6 million plus. You can imagine you have about 6 million people. Everyone has a phone in Libya. Everyone has a telephone. In other words, has a mobile phone. So highways are quite well built, and that's about 37,000 kilometers right then. Internet users, not so many, about 1,389,715 people there. Telephones, office telephones, about 1.5 million there in terms of telephones. Libya is a big country by then. Look at total area. A country with over 1,759,000 square kilometers. 1 million. Libya is a damn big country. But look at the population, not even 7 million. But the country has total land area of 1,759,000 square kilometers. The country is big, but people are few. And the country is full of minerals. That's why they wanted Gaddafi out. I have an apology to make this statement here. It was the wealth of Libya. The land area is also quite big, and the water area, nothing, because they have a coastline of about 1,770 kilometers. A coastline is bigger, but no water area right there. Now, climate in Libya is basically Mediterranean, a long coast, dry, extreme desert in the interior. The terrain of Libya is mostly barren. Yes, Libya is flat. That's why it was easier to beat Gaddafi down, because the country is flat, desert flat. You can see someone 100 kilometers away. It's a flat land, flat and undulating plains, plateaus, and of course depression. The lowest point is called Sabkata, Zauredi, Guzai. Guzai is in the negative by that, and of course the highest point is Biku Biti. Biku Biti at that length. Of course, I get this data from the World Bank as usual. My data is got from the World Bank. Today, I'm going to show you some of the most ancient cities in Libya. Libya has a history of colonialism, Italians being there, Romans being there, um, the French people being there, the British being there, the Greeks being there. So these guys left lots of good images. I'm going to be showing you these images. For example, there we see some of these images. Go ahead and please roll them out. We see the Leptis Magna, the Roman Sabratha, the Ark of Marcus. You can imagine even Marcus Aurelius built something there. Leptis Magna is what we are watching right now. Leptis Magna. We have, of course, the Arch of Magnus. We have, of course, cities like Benghazi. Now we have Crane. All these are old cities, legendary kind of wax temples that were built in ancient times. We see, of course, Jat, we see Gadames, and all these other ancient cities, ancient homes that have been built so many years ago. Sabrata right there, built by the Greeks, or during the Greek times, somewhere when Greek took over this part of the country. And of course, we see here at the bottom city, this is where I told you is the birthplace of Colonel Muammar Gaddafi. This is where this guy was born, Sete. And of course, it was targeted by NATO forces, and it was, of course, destroyed in 2011. They were looking for Gaddafi. They went to his home area, destroyed his entire home area, looking for one man called Gaddafi. Now you see here, we see another city called Tobruk, another old city there. It has been there for over 100 years. That one there you see has been there for over 100 years, lasted all the invasions, including Second World War. They used to fight, but this city of Tobruk was also known for a battlefield in the Second World War. And of course, we see Misrata. Remember, in the war, NATO fighting Gaddafi, we heard about Misrata. They were bombing Misrata left, right, and center, day and night. They were bombing Misrata because Gaddafi had put a strong resistance right inside Misrata, lining up along the shimmering Mediterranean coast. The 500,000 strong city of Misrata, also spread as Misrata, is the third largest city in Libya. It was founded by the Greeks. It has so many important buildings right there. Let's look at other images we have for you from Libya. Libya is now a desert, desolate kind of place, destroyed by NATO. I repeat it. Libya, a beautiful country, was destroyed by NATO. Allied forces from Europe combined and went to destroy Libya. They claimed so many things, weapons of mass destruction, gas, whatever they claimed, whatever they said, they wanted to take Gaddafi out. They took him out and killed him. Of course, they will tell you there were rebels, there were rebel groups, but these rebel groups were sponsored by these very people from NATO. They sponsored the uprising in Libya to get Gaddafi out. Let us look at some of the beautiful sand dunes of Libya. I told you Libya is one of the best countries in the world. Look at that photo right there. Libya, one of the best countries. Remember, Libya was a monarchy between 1951 to 1963. Remember, when we talk about King Idris, yes, a monarch there, one of the best monarchies by that time. It won its independence on the 24th of December, 1951. And this independence only lasted for a short time when there was a coup d'etat on 1st September 1969. Gaddafi led a coup d'etat. Muammar Gaddafi led a coup d'etat and overthrew King Idris and established the so-called Republic of Libya, the Arab Republic of Libya, Libyan Arab Republic. It's a beautiful country. I'm showing these images to see how beautiful is Libya. It was the envy of the world. People wanted Gaddafi out. The major reason for this guy getting out was because of the riches of Libya and because this man had a dream to unite Africa, and because this man was proposing a one currency for Africa. This man wanted a united Africa. This man wanted an Africa with one trading bloc. This is why Gaddafi was killed. This is why Libya is in this state, because Muammar Gaddafi wanted something different for Libya. We call him the revolutionary chairman of the Libyan Arab Republic from 1969 to 1977. Then he was the brother leader of a great socialist People's Libyan Republic, which we called the Jamahiriya. From 1977 to 2011, when he was killed, he was the leader of the Libyan Arab Jamahiriya. From 1977 to 2011. He ruled Libya for 42 years. Yes, 42 years he ruled Libya. He called himself the brotherly leader and the guide of the revolution. He was, of course, a tough man. Of course, he was an authoritarian leader. Of course, he gave little democracy. But Gaddafi did so many things that I will never tell you. Obama called him evil, and we are asking Obama, if Gaddafi was evil, as Americans said, as Obama said, but there was free healthcare in Libya, there was free electricity in Libya, there was no interest on loans in Libya. The newlyweds people who had married in Libya would be given an equivalent of $50,000. You are married, you are given money to go and find a home. That money was to help you start over. Mothers would receive about $5,000 to take care of their unborn child. Mothers, new mothers. Gaddafi was rebuilding Africa. Now tell me, which country among these countries that attacked Libya give their people free health care, free electricity, no interest on loans, give the newlyweds money to go and buy a home, give mothers $5,000 each month to survive? Tell me, among the countries that attacked Libya, that attacked Libya and Gaddafi, they said Gaddafi was evil. Any of these countries, tell me which country does what Gaddafi was doing. And yet, these countries are not democratic themselves. Gaddafi had his own weaknesses, but Gaddafi loved his country. Weaknesses, yes. Authoritarian, yes. His sons were all over the country. Yes, he was authoritarian. Yes, but what he did also helped his people survive. So we say two evils, a lesser evil or a better evil. Today, when you look at Libya, is in a solar state. No one would like even to go to Libya today. Factions are fighting. Terrorism, kidnapping, robbery, death rate, crime rate is increasingly high. Libya is simply ungovernable. The reason why I cannot even bother to show you the current data, because tomorrow will be gone. Gaddafi remains a hero for many people in Libya. Today, even his grave is not known where it is. They say somewhere in the desert. Because people loved this man despite his weaknesses. Yes, he was a dictator. Yes, he was authoritarian. Yes, but somehow he had a socialistic way of taking care of his people. These were about 7 million people. By that time, there were about up to 6 million people in Libya. But to find that there were jobs for them, there were houses for them, there was free health care for them, they could get loans without interest, because Libya is a rich country. And Gaddafi, despite his weaknesses, tried to share this wealth with his people. But now, look what was happening in Libya. NATO bombed it to dust, to rubble. They took over. They are putting there their stooges. And what's happening in Libya? They are siphoning away resources from Libya, taking them to no one knows. And Libyans remain in a desolate state. Gaddafi was bad. But after Gaddafi, what we see in Libya, is Libya better than when it was having Gaddafi? The answer, you have it. Thank you so much for watching. Monthly Africa gives you insight analysis of issues. We don't miss what is here. We tell you things the way we see them. It's you to be the judge. Libya, a strong country, a rich country, attacked by NATO, destroyed by NATO, and today Libya is struggling as an economy despite the resources that it has. Thank you for watching. See you in the next show.